Florida recruiting wars. Boy, have they heated up even over the past 48 hours. Now, you care about this if you're in Coral Gables or if you're in Tallahassee or Gainesville, but man, I don't care where you are. I have told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, you need to be paying attention to this. One of the great keys to that fabled parity in this sport is not playoff expansion, it's recruiting in Florida and Texas and California. And they got one right now. They got a knife fight going on in the state of Florida. Now, it's June. And each of these programs has the same number of verbal commits. They're sitting at 8. I don't care what people are ranked right now. I'm not going to waste 2 seconds talking about who's ranked in the 30s and who's ranked in the 20s. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. All of them will be better than they are right now. But there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of drama here that if you're just out there living your life in Amarillo, Texas, you probably have not been made aware of. I'm going to make you aware of it here. This is something that's going to be really fun to watch. So yesterday, to get you caught up to speed, yesterday, 4-star defensive lineman Gavin Hill, he committed to Florida. Go Gators. Today was a huge day. Now, I did not necessarily expect 4-star offensive lineman Roderick Kearney to commit to FSU. I think he'd just come off of an official to Florida. That was a big deal, a very big deal. But then the biggest deal of all was what I'd say, Colin, about 3 or 4 hours ago, 4-star quarterback Jaden Rashada out of California. The word on the street was that the Gators had been in a good position here for a while. This one seemed to turn in the last week. I'm going to let you decide whatever you want to decide about what makes a recruitment turn. I don't have inside knowledge of this, nor do most people. That doesn't stop them from speculating. The fact of the matter is it seemed to have turned in the last week. And today, Jaden Rashada made it official. He has committed to Miami. I want to stress again, that is a high 4-star quarterback from California, not from Coral Gables, not from South Florida. Mario Cristobal and his staff went all the way across the country to get him. Now, the drama around this did not start today. The drama around this started building earlier this week. Earlier this week, the Cristobal feature on 247sports.com did what it does, and it just kicked over an anthill because Miami started making some moves, but also some other programs started making some moves, and a lot of guys that Florida previously had felt good about started seeing Cristobals go the other way. And if you're unfamiliar with the recruiting world, when I say Cristobal, that's the head coach at Miami. But when I say Cristobal, that is a prediction machine on 247sports.com. How could it be any clearer? I don't know how it could be any clearer. I think it was very shrewd, by the way, of Miami to go find a guy and hire him with the exact same last name as the most accurate recruiting indicator in the market. I'm sure that's how they planned it. But when that started happening earlier this week, when those crystal balls started shifting away from Florida, a lot of panic set in, and I don't think it was unwarranted. Sometimes people freak out for no reason, and maybe it's a little bit too much freak out right now. Maybe it's a 10, but there should be a fair amount of concern in Florida right now. So Florida was on the wrong end of a lot of these crystal ball moves. I think they're going to be validated. One of them was today. The Florida fans were not surprised, for instance, when Jaden Rashada committed to Miami. I know nationally it was a big deal. Florida already knew it was coming. I think Miami knew it was coming. So it stands to reason a lot of the concerns this week were kind of founded. It's not just rumor and baseless speculation. There was a lot of foundation to it. How people ever doubted Miami was going to get their act together in recruiting is beyond me. You can doubt anything else you want to doubt about that staff. You be my guest. The last thing on this planet you need to doubt is that Miami is going to recruit at a very high level. That was the dumbest thing in the world. Like, I posted one screenshot today. I could just as easily have posted 100 of them. When Mario Cristobal in Miami didn't immediately start locking up a top 5 class in this cycle and take a bunch of verbal commitments in March, some of you, the casuals amongst us, if you will, they also have access to the internet. Some of you started inundating my inbox saying, are you ready to eat some crow on Miami? Are you ready to fess up that you were wrong and you overhyped them? Well, no. Those people were strangely silent today, and I imagine I won't hear much from them moving forward. Mario Cristobal is a psychopath when it comes to recruiting. They will never not be good at it. I don't know what in the world you've been watching or what fantasy world you've been living in to think that one of the best recruiters in the country already was going to go from the Pacific Northwest to his home that happens to be in South Florida where the dude played and not recruit well. If you don't think he's going to develop the talent, whatever. If you think they're going to underachieve on the field, whatever. Totally different debate. I'd be happy to have that one with you too. But they're going to recruit. So that's a constant. Get used to that. That's not going to change. At Florida, there's a lot that is right now that needs to change. So we'll call those variables, for instance. Here's what happened, and here's what is happening, and here's what you need to know, because your program may very well be in the same boat. The NIL era is brand new. I know we talk about it every day, and you get to feeling like you've been around it for so long. This thing's still brand new, and a lot of folks are adjusting to it at different speeds. And to be blunt, Florida has not adjusted to it. Notice I didn't say Billy Napier. I said Florida has not adjusted to it as quickly as some of their counterparts have. And the fan base knows it, and the fan base is aggravated about it, and I would be too if I were them, because there's a lot of investment that is asked of them, and there's a lot of investment in this new staff, and they, in terms of a coaching search, went about it very directly, very deliberately, very quickly, and they got Billy Napier in there, and now what they want to see is they want to see immediate results. Sometimes the microwave mentality is not something that it's smart to expect, but they're looking around and they understand the staff at Miami is not going to slow down. Florida State eventually is going to get their act together, and there's been some positive momentum on the recruiting trail for the Seminoles too. But at Florida, you know, they look around and they say, why in the world should we take a back seat to anyone? And why should we be more careful than anyone else? And that's really the crux of the issue with not just Florida, but several other fan bases in America right now. Because there is one school of thought that says, well, you know, the NCAA, they put out a statement, and that statement said, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. And then there's this other camp that says, yeah, that's kind of like the substitute teacher writing the rules on the grease board and then saying, I got to go to the parking lot, behave. Door slams. What would you do? How would you drive on the interstate tonight going home if you were 100% certain there were no cops ahead of you? Some of you would still do 65, and I admire those of you who would. I wouldn't. Pedals on the ground for me. And a lot of folks around college football are realizing this at different speeds. That, yeah, there are some guidelines out there, and I stress the word guidelines because nobody really knows what the rules are right now. And there are other ways, by the way, that folks are going about the NIL era that aren't illegal necessarily. There's just a lot of money flowing right now. Some of it in legal ways, some of it not in legal ways. But the whole point is that's in the weeds. That's minutia. I want to back it out to 30,000 feet. I'm saying whatever can be done, Florida's not doing enough of it. And I keep saying Florida, and I haven't said Billy Napier, because here's what I believe talking to some folks. First off, I fully believe in Billy Napier, okay? So please don't misunderstand me. I love Billy Napier, fully believe in him. That's a guy that's very deliberate in his own right. He trusts his evaluation process. They trust their developmental process. But here's the deal. This is major college football. He knows it. You know it. Everyone knows it. You can evaluate all you want to. You can develop all you want to. It is a talent acquisition business. And if you're not putting your coaching staff in the best position to go out and acquire talent, then you can either do one of two things. You can either recalibrate your expectation level and lower it and say, good solid 7-win season, that's what we want, Billy. Or you can give him the resources he needs to go out and compete. And right now, he's never going to come out publicly and say it. I don't think he's operating on a level playing field with some of the other staffs you're asking them to compete against. I don't think he's operating on a level playing field as Georgia. I don't think he's operating on a level playing field as Miami. And that's got to change. Or else you better get comfortable finishing second and third and watching a lot of these recruiting battles turn at the last minute. You know how frustrating that is? You know, now, if you're a fan, you know how frustrating it is. Imagine being that guy right there. Imagine having your face attached to all this. And imagine knowing we handled this recruitment about as well as we could have. Now, that's part of it. I'm not absolving this staff, because what I think is happening here as well is this staff is trying to drink water from a fire hose. It's a new situation for everyone, okay? Billy Napier and his staff just got here from Louisiana Lafayette. They probably feel like they've aged 10 years. They haven't even coached a game yet. We hadn't even gotten to the fall yet of his first season. And I'm fielding text messages from some of my Florida buddies saying, is this really our guy? You haven't seen him coach a game. Utah is still 2 months away from coming to town. You haven't seen anything yet. Some people are going to adjust quicker than others. You know, we play double headers in softball sometimes, and we'll go out there, and for whatever reason, the bounces just don't go our way. You'll all of a sudden find yourself down 16-4 against a team you know you're every bit as good as, if not better than. What do? Well, you want to fight, and you want to come back and win the game, but let's be reasonable. We're probably just going to have to chalk this one up. We're probably going to have to take it on the chin. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure we got our mind right the next time we play them, whether it's later tonight or whether it's next week, because we have no doubt we can compete against them. It's just we didn't put ourselves in the best position in this particular game. I think Florida's going to have to take one on the chin in the 2023 recruiting cycle. What do they do moving forward? And what position is the staff put in moving forward? Because one certainty, Miami's not slowing down. They will not slow down. Georgia, not slowing down. All these schools you got to compete against in the SEC, not slowing down. Will Florida speed up? That's the question. I can't answer it. Only Florida can answer it.